Hey guys, Jason Cardamone here, and I know everybody's disappointed you didn't get to see me rapping tonight on the Automati show, and I'm actually shooting this video instead of a rap, which I know would be super funny and entertaining, and it'd actually be totally awesome because I'm a damn good rapper, that I have something really cool I want to share with you. And it's the reason why I wasn't able to make the show tonight and really what's been happening today. So this started earlier today when my oldest son comes home from school. He has a pretty bad stomach ache and he never goes to the nurse's office, never fakes stuff. So fast forward and things are getting worse throughout the day. He's up on the couch all day and he basically just slept since he got home around 10 or so this morning, and he was sleeping and his stomach or abdominal pains were getting worse and worse. So basically the other two kids get home from school around, I don't know, 1:30, 2, whatever. I don't even know what today was, but my wife takes our oldest son to go see our doctor, and so he's checking them all out, and they keep him there to see how things are going, and he recommends we go into the emergency room, or that they go. So my wife's going to the emergency room with my oldest son. We don't know anything yet, but it's potential appendicitis, and even as I'm shooting this video, I still don't know the outcome. But here's what's really important is the amount of stress that was building in my day, because on top of him coming home, and none of that's a big deal. You know, my wife spent time with him all day. I was able to get some work done, had some random meetings and non-planned things, but I was already feeling slightly run down. And I haven't been sick for years, but I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, that I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit, and my sinuses are all dried out no matter how much water I drink. And so I've already been feeling run down, and this stuff was all mounting on top of it. And so we're getting closer to tonight, and it means a huge amount. I am so grateful, and it's a huge honor to be able to host the Automati show with Matt and to do all the record. I mean, I've transformed parts of my life around things I do on Wednesday evenings, so I can always be here for that. It's a big deal to me to be able to support that and help with all that. And so tonight, this was about 30 minutes ago. I can't see the time right now, but the show started about 30 minutes ago, and I was going to be on, and Matt had informed me when I was at a restaurant with my other two kids that he couldn't make it tonight. So I was going to come on, do the rap, all that. I don't know if I was really going to rap. I probably would have a little bit, but just hang out for a few minutes, tell everybody can't make it, and get off. And so what happened was I'm stressed out because I usually don't do the dinners and things, and I have the two kids, and my wife this whole time for hours is away at the doctor's and then the ER with our oldest son. So they're away. I'm already a little bit stressed. A neighbor's offering to help, which was totally cool. And I'm so stressed, my kids are playing outside, I literally fell asleep on the couch. In the middle of all this chaos, I just literally fell asleep. And this had to be 5 p.m. or so, somewhere around there. And so and I'm explaining some of these details so you can realize some of the stress that's been kind of mounting. And I'm good at brushing stress off and ignoring it, but you ignore it for too long and things kind of build up and stuff happen. So fast forward, it's dinner time, the kids are hungry. The neighbor's offering to just take the kids basically for the whole night and even take care of them for school tomorrow and stuff. And I just felt like it was really important. I think it was more for me than anything, for me to be with the kids and for us to be together. And I know that's right because now I'm starting to cry. So that's definitely what I was feeling earlier. So we go out to eat, we go to Panera Bread, and the line is literally backed up to the door. It's basically a 15-20 minute wait, and we only have 45 minutes to get in the restaurant, eat, and get home basically. So I'm we won't make it going to this place. So my favorite food is sushi, and there's a little sushi place we haven't been to for at least 3 or 4 or 5 years now, and my kids, they just get little noodles there. So we go there. They're all having catastrophes because we're not going to Panera and the Mexican restaurant. They're all fighting about where we want to go. So the stress is building up, and I'm trying to relay to them. And they honestly did amazingly good. And I explained to them how stressed I was and can they really try to be on their best behavior. And they did really good overall. But again, they're 7 and 9 years old, so they only have a limited skill set. And so you go to the sushi restaurant. I didn't realize it's Wednesday night. Everywhere is freaking packed out. And here's where the lesson's all coming in, guys, is that we go to this restaurant. It's like my favorite thing to eat in the world. And we sit there and I'm like a ball of nerves, and I'm checking my phone every second. I'm like the guy who like ignores my phone, kind of like I'm looking at you can't see my phone, but it's down there, and I see if it lights up or something. I'm going to run over and check it because we don't still have an outcome on our son. And I'm at the restaurant. I'm with two of my children, and I'm trying to really create this cool moment for us and kind of a distraction, kind of just have some fun. And it's just stressful. And even the kid, like my daughter like barely eats her meal, and then my wife sends us a picture of my son has an IV in because they had to give him morphine. The pain was getting so bad, and they kept the IV in depending on what's going to happen tonight. So she sent a picture of that, and I showed the kids, and I saw my daughter. She like teared up instantly. I explained to her like, this is how to quickly get medicine in, like explain everything. And then another picture came, I think actually when we're in the car, of him getting x-rays, because the ultrasound that wasn't clear, they're getting x-rays. If that doesn't work, they'll do an MRI. And if it is an appendicitis, we have to drive I'll be up the entire night because we got to go to a totally different facility. So, but here's the point of all this. I'm at the restaurant and I have all the plan, like here's what we're getting. Food's going to show up. I'm going to just chow down super fast, which is not one of my strengths. But I have the timetable set, everything. I give the guy the card early. We get paid. Everything's set. We're like leaving. We're going to get out on time. And the food comes super late, or at least the sushi does. So I got like a little avocado salad. The kids got these noodle things. All that came fast. But then the 2 rolls of sushi I got, which is like the meal, it came like 5 till. And I needed to be leaving before that to get here on time to start the show. So then I'm sitting there, I'm like, cool, you know what? I'm going to start the show from my phone, and we're going to do a little impromptu thing like right in our car or even in the restaurant. So I go to download GoToWebinar on my phone, and it starts going, and the service wasn't the best in the restaurant, and my phone is freaking full, so I can't install the damn app. It said not enough storage. I'm like, holy shit. So then I go in, I'm searching for videos, I'm scrolling through thousands of pictures and videos. I can't even find a video to delete, and literally I can't find one because they're buried in all the pictures. So I'm like, damn it, dude. And I look down and it's like a couple past the top of the hour. I'm like, it's okay, it's not too, I'm eternal optimist. It's never too late. So we get boxes, we box up my son's noodles. I leave everything else. I just don't have time to even pack it. So the sushi's like, I ate about 2/3 of it, which was pretty good. I stuff in like 2 rolls as we're going out of the restaurant. I can still feel them sitting in my stomach right now. And we got to the car and we're all hustling, and my son and daughter coming like, you know, little troopers, like just tearing it up. We get in the car, I'm trying to install the app. I finally find a video, delete it, install the app, still not enough room. Then my wife calls and gives me new news about the x-rays and stuff. And like, basically before I know it, it's like 12 past the hour. I'm like, dude, what's the point of me getting on to do some rap and all this other stuff? And I was so caught up and I was so stressed, even talking to my wife. I was like, I told her, I'm like, babe, I'm so flustered, I'm so frustrated, I'm so stressed out, I'm so like wiped out, like I'm all, just tell me what to do. Like I couldn't even think about anything, but just like I was asking her to tell me like, should I come up there with the kids? What do we do? And so here's the point of everything, is that it really, and I allowed this meaning of what it meant for me to go start the show and cover for Matt once I knew he couldn't make it, which I found out at the restaurant and everything. When I wasn't able to do that, I felt like it was part of my identity or part of my purpose being taken, and it caused like this waterfall impact of like all of a sudden I'm shorter with the kids. I'm a little shorter, being like more quick to anger, get frustrated, and it wasn't bad at all. I was super aware of my state, so nothing got out of control at all. But I wasn't the super most kind, most amazing, you know, person that just chills out and has fun, relaxes kind of guy. And so I was realizing all this stuff packing up, and I'm sitting there in the car, and I realized the thing that I'm not going to download, and I'm like, okay, there's not much of a point now. I'm just going to deal with this. And then a few minutes later, I'm like, I'm going to do a video about this. And that's how this came to be. And what was really cool, so we get home, and I put the 2 younger kids to bed, and I still don't know what's the deal with my oldest son. We have to wait to hear back from the x-ray results and stuff. So I might be in for a super long night and already feeling way run down. My throat's all jacked up. It's not going to lead, it's not the ideal health choice. But also what happened during all this, we got in the car and I was talking to my kids and I'm like, you guys know what? I actually feel better now. Like I feel less run down and less stressed compared to when we first started. So stress isn't always bad. It definitely takes a toll on you if you're always in that kind of environment, but it also caused my emotions and my whole nervous system to raise up, and I literally felt better, especially after getting some food me, because I don't even think I got to eat lunch with how crazy the day went. And so all these things adding up, all these different levels of stress, and so I'm putting the kids to bed. My daughter's really upset because she had her heart set on spending the night at a friend's house on a school night. And I was like, dude, this is not a good idea. And like, so she's all upset about that. So we're talking and I'm in the meditation class with Matt. And so I asked her, I'm like, hey, Matt taught me this meditation. Do you want to learn this? You want to do this with me? And she was like, no. And I said, do you want to see me do it? And she was in that mood where she was being all stubborn and she didn't want to talk, but she's like, yeah, she's saying yes, nodding her head. And so I did it and I showed her. And I did a minute of it, which is exactly how Matt teaches you to start. And it was so relaxing and so rewarding, and it was cool that my daughter's seeing me model this kind of stuff. So it really turned out where I got to model what I wanted to with my kids. Everything's at this point, everything's fine. Even if my son if he has to have his appendix removed, I don't know anything about all that stuff. My wife had it done when she was a little kid. I know it sucks. I know all surgeries are crap. I was upset when my son's getting morphine. I also realized he's in like crazy pain that like my wife and I are sitting there like almost crying with that. My daughter was crying with how much pain our son was in. So with all that stuff said, everything happens for a reason and a purpose, and it's here to serve us. And I will say, please accept my apology for missing the show tonight, but also I hope some cool lessons were able to come out of this for you, because I become a better person through this whole experience. Just like Matt was off doing some huge things today, he's becoming a better person because he's always working on himself and always outside of his comfort zone, always pushing the boundaries of everything. And I had a lot of boundaries being pushed on today, and they were like physically showing up as like me passing out, falling asleep on the couch when my kids are playing outside, and feeling like crazy run down where I literally am noticing I don't have my normal thought patterns in my brain. That's how like wiped out I was. And so we always have to be aware of all that stuff. And I'm really grateful for all this, how this all turned out. Super grateful for being here on the Automati show and being a part of this whole community. I love what you guys add to all this stuff. And I hope, if anything, I said this to my daughter at least 4 or 5 times tonight. Lily, you have to learn to be flexible. You have to be able to roll. She always wants to know like where we're going, what time, when's she going here. Like she always like, where are we going now? Are we almost there? How much longer? It's like it's control. And she's just freaking 9. She just turned 9. And so there's a lot of lessons around going with the flow and her having a certain intention set. She's going to spend the night at her friend's, and she needs to be more flexible and realize, that's not the plan. And right now, we literally don't even know the plan for tonight. I might be going to across whole town, a huge drive to go to a big medical center down there. We're already at a big one now. I don't know why they can't do it there, but I think they're not quite as specialist as the one down south. And so I am an extremely flexible person in general, but even when you're like that, you can go to extremes and that causes stress on the body. And just like some people who maybe they tend to be more rigid than flexible, a super rigid person, if they're like forced into this crazy rigid crack, they gain stress and they freak out and they want more flexibility. So there always is, Matt talked about this, and actually I have no idea which webinar in the past week, but about the scales of where people are at. And you may have someone on their flexibility scale down here and you may share some scale, or you may be way up here as your range of flexibility. And so it's all just cool lessons that come out of all this stuff. So sorry for the huge rant this whole time, guys, and I could totally bust out in a rap. I'm literally going to save that, because that's going to be played out as some joke or gag here for like until the timing's right. Then you're going to hear MC JC bust out, and it's going to be, I'm going to bust some rhymes like you ain't never heard before. So, by the way, I went to a talent show last night for one of my cousins. All middle school kids. They were grade 6, like ages 11 to 13, 14 range, and it was so freaking awesome seeing the kids do their thing. But this kid gets up there. He was around, I bet he's about 12, maybe 13. And he gets up there with he's basically like Eminem version of little kid. And dude, he had such confidence, and he literally made up, everybody else did songs like they already knew and stuff. He made up his song, and he totally knew it. Wait, I bet that has to be an angle, right? That's Eminem. So he made up his lyrics. It was totally sweet. And halfway through, they cut his music off because they thought he was done. And he had enough confidence. This kid, he's like 12, 13. He's like, hey, can you guys like roll the music? All the other kids, something bad, like the mic wasn't on or whatever, and they freak out and they're like frozen. He was like, dude, like he totally embodied like this confident like rap guy. It was so awesome to see that. So I'll embody a little bit of that kid, because I got all kinds of that stuff in me. So love you guys. Appreciate you so much. Be flexible. Be grateful. We'll chat with you guys soon.